Now, Eyewitness Sports.
All right, welcome to the latest episode of Double OT with Mark Dondero, the final episode before you are a father of two. What's the anxious level right now?
Well, I've been having trouble remembering, because there's some places I go that I don't bring my phone. I've been having trouble remembering to take my phone everywhere I go. So
your wife her due date's yesterday, so
Due
you
date
may
was
get the
Wednesday.
call during this taping.
we have the phone
which I
at
hope
my
it
feet.
happens.
We have the phone at my feet.
Hold on, is she allowed to call you without the major call, or do you want like strictly text so you don't freak out?
No. She can do whatever she wants.
She calls you and you're like, hey, is this it? And then she's like, no, I want to see what you wanted for dinner.
Well, I would answer the call. We'll deal with that. But she can call and do whatever she needs to do.
All right, here's hoping it happens over the next 20 minutes.
Thank you.
All right, let's start with football, and the Malcolm Butler situation still not resolved. Here's the Instagram post. Mac_BZ, quote, nothing changed but the change. Pretty cryptic and veiled, as most athletes do these days.
It looks
What'd
like
you
he's
make
on a
of it?
plane, too.
And he has bows, and when you click over bows, so I think he was paid for this, but you take the message for what it is. What is the message?
I don't think it means anything. Let me ask you this question. When was the last time somebody posted a cryptic message like this and it actually meant something?
Yeah, like Isaiah Thomas has the
Right.
googly eyes.
I don't think it means
during-
anything, and I was trying to think. I Googled some words that he typed. Nothing changed. It means anything. It didn't mean much to me. I think it's nothing because I thought back to, have I ever posted a cryptic post? And I did. I did once in college. Girlfriend, we weren't together anymore. I was hurt.
Now wife.
So yes, it was actually Jen. So I posted something on Facebook on my wall.
That's so loserish.
Yeah, it was like a lyrics to a song. It was
Oh,
lyrics to a
terrible.
song.
What, you're a
and
60-year-old girl?
I was hurt, and I did it, and it meant nothing other than, hey, somebody looked like, I wanted her to see it, and
Yeah.
hopefully she sees it and wonders, and I become relevant in her mind again. That's all it meant. It meant nothing.
Was it a
and
Creed
was
song?
pathetic.
Was it Creed?
No, I think it was a POD song. Creed? No. But it meant nothing. It was just a way of crying out. That's all it meant. That's all it was. It was pathetic, and it was. I think there's an element of that to this here, because we're kind of in limbo. He doesn't know exactly what's going on. Somebody kind of, hear me. I don't know.
It's a cry for help. I don't have any control in this.
Yeah.
The Patriots have all the control, and I kind of just want to show you that I'm out there. Nothing changes but the change. Now, listen, when you see it, maybe if something happened last night, he's foreshadowing the change. I'm going to New Orleans or whatever. But no, I think he's in a tough spot. Think about any time you've applied for a job or been waiting on an interview or anything in those anxious couple days.
Brutal.
This guy doesn't know where he's playing football for the next however many years, where he's going to live, how his relationship is with his bosses. Is he going to be going to Foxborough for minicamp in June with all that tension there?
Is he going to be making $3.91 million or $12 million?
Right. So I'm not putting much stock into it. It's just your quintessential athlete, self-indulgent message.
I kind of wish it did mean something, though.
Yeah.
I wish it was foreshadowing
or maybe
to a big deal or something.
At the very least, his agent could be like, hey, something's coming. We got to wait. Like, hey, New Orleans has to get these contracts off the books. They're sending this to New England. Like, maybe it's a formality and it will happen. We'll see. As of now, not much.
Now, one development that may lead one to think that this did actually mean something was the report, or at least the notion that was thrown out there today by, I think it was Jason La Canfora, who, according to one league executive, the consensus is that Darrelle Revis will end up back with the Patriots. Is that something that you endorse and support?
I endorse it if it's for the right price, if it's for what Bill Belichick considers market value for Darrelle Revis. Over the hill, Darrelle Revis, what is that, $5-6 million a year? I think he'd have to be more of a slot guy. I think functionally he's still a really good quarterback, Mark. I don't know if he can hang with the burners anymore. I think his speed isn't there. But technically sound if he's healthy. So I'd be for it, and the perspective is the 14th season, which he won a Super Bowl, is now like a one-off. Like, remember when Darrelle Revis was on our Super Bowl team? If he comes back and is good for a couple years, It'll be more of like he's part of the family or the La Familia, as Jimmy Garoppolo would use. Because as it stands now, he's this jet mercenary, money-hungry guy who was just with the Patriots for a Super Bowl run. So I think it would improve the perception of him as a Patriot. And listen, they need a cornerback. They're losing Logan Ryan, potentially Butler. So if he's willing to cut down his price and his ego, I think it could work.
Initially, my first thought was, no, I'm good. You know, he got fat. He was awful last year. He left New England kind of on rocky terms.
Right.
I initially thought, I'm good. But then I thought about it more. I got less emotional. And now, if the money is right, I would be willing to bring back Darrelle Revis. I'll defer to Bill like normal. But, you know, this is a guy who's, 31 years old right now? Or going to be 31?
Sounds about right.
I think he's around 31. And we have seen in the past, now again, he gained weight, supposedly lost weight. We have seen in the past cornerbacks and defensive backs in that age range have been good. Okay, Terrence Newman went to a Pro Bowl at age 31. Pac-Man Jones, I think at age 31, went to a Pro Bowl. And Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey. Now those are all-timers.
Right.
But so was Darrelle Revis. Those guys went to 4 Pro Bowls each, I believe. 4 each at the age and beyond the age of what Darrelle Revis is right now.
Right. And I think he's a heady football player. So
Sure.
if the skills erode a little bit, he can still be effective.
And he'd be a number 2. Stephon Gilmore would be the number
Right.
1. Now, if he's coming to New England, that would make me think that Malcolm Butler is on his way out. Could you imagine Stephon Gilmore, Malcolm Butler, and Darrelle Revis
That
playing
would be absurd.
defensive back for the New England Patriots?
And he was a good kid. I mean, he was great to us in the media when he was here.
Sure.
By all accounts, a good teammate.
Yeah, the
He's
key
always
is-
been money first, but
The key would be he wouldn't be the number 1 cornerback. He'd be with Gilmore. And like you said, they need a cornerback. So
we've seen Bill bring back Patrick Chung. I mean, Bill
we saw him
is
bring in Michael Floyd.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, but I'm saying he's willing to bring back a guy back to the system who's departed at some point.
Sure.
So we'll see on
So
that.
I'd be for
I mean,
it.
he'd be eating a little bit of crow coming back here.
Money is a
taking-
big part of it.
Yeah.
Money is a big part of it.
All right, let's move on to the NBA. I saw a stat on SportsCenter today. Celtics, according to 538, 54% chance of getting the 1 seed over the Cavs. 1 game back, 9 to go. C's have a very easy schedule, 1 game against the Cavaliers. Do they overtake the Cavs for the top spot in the East?
I don't like this question, so I'm going to change it.
Was that the question?
Yeah.
Are the Celtics a serious threat to the Cavs?
Listen, whatever-
Is the 1 seed important?
No. The 1 seed is not important because, in my mind, Cleveland and LeBron James specifically, LeBron James, who has played in the finals in every season since 2011, does not care about the regular season. I shouldn't say doesn't care, but isn't all that interested.
It's like the Pats. Doesn't matter.
Right. Well, I would say football might be a little more because of the home field is a bigger. Here's why football is a bigger deal. Because the best team in football doesn't always win. In basketball, the best team usually wins in the playoffs in a
Right.
7-game series. They have been to the finals. He has been to the finals. He knows how to get his guys ready for a playoff run. You know, we've heard him talk about it. I don't think that the 1 seed or the 2 seed is going to matter much to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. When it's time for the playoffs and to chase the title, they will be ready, they will be prepared, they will be at their best. So these games that mean a little bit more, I think, to the Celtics, I don't think they're going to play as well as they've played in the playoffs. I know that might be a different discussion, but LeBron James, it's about the finals, it's about the playoffs. They will rev it up, the defensive intensity will be ratcheted up. And that's how it's going to be in the playoffs. So, no, I don't think it matters if the Celtics get the 1 seed and maybe have that 1 extra home game.
Right. I don't think it matters to the Cavaliers, as you mentioned, for all those reasons. LeBron's season doesn't really start until the playoffs. I don't think the Celtics will surpass Cleveland. I think ultimately LeBron will start. He's going to do the thing. He's off social media. He's going to get his guys together. This is a team who fired their coach in the middle of last season and won a championship.
They were in first place in the
So
conference.
they're gonna put it in overdrive probably this week, maintain the 1 seed. I think it would be important for the Celtics, not in that they would beat Cleveland with the 1 seed, but it's another feather in the cap. We're the number 1 team in the East. We won a series or 2, should they win a series or 2. Sort of benchmarks that show them ascending into an NBA relevancy. But while it could swing a game against Cleveland in a best of 7, it's not changing the series. If it's, do they still do 2-2, 1-1-1, or is it 2-3-2?
It's 2-2-1-1-1, I believe,
All right.
until the finals.
So it probably
and I think
goes
actually, no,
6.
I think in the finals it is 2-2-1-1-1 now. So it's
But
all,
everything
it's the whole
else is
way.
2-3-2?
The whole way, I think so.
At any rate, maybe it goes 6 instead of 5.
Unless
it
that
changes
first round
one
is
game.
5 games instead of 7 games, I don't remember.
The first round's 5, everything else is
Yeah,
7, but
but-
they've tweaked it recently. So it's not going to put them over the top of Cleveland, but I think it's cool to say you have the best record in the Eastern Conference. Home court advantage. I mean, the Celtics, the Garden rocks, so I think they'll have...
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's definitely good. It's a feather in the cap. Feels a little Indianapolis Colts-ish, if that makes any sense.
Putting up a banner for like
okay,
a wild card spot.
The number 1 seed. But listen, what will mean more to me won't be whether or not they get the 1 seed over the Cavs. It will be, can they win a series?
Yeah.
Can they make a run? Can they push Cleveland, go to 6, 7 games in the playoffs when it matters? Because that's when LeBron cares. That's when it matters. That's when people are actually playing. That's what would mean more to me than just getting the 1 seed. It's nice, though. Sure.
It's nice.
Meanwhile, the Bruins haven't been in the playoffs, so we'll take any seed at this
2
point.
years in a row.
They looked or seemed to have turned things around with Bruce Cassidy at the helm. However, they've hit a rough stretch here. Do you expect another March choke for the Bruins?
No, I don't think they're going to choke like they have the last 2 years. They, as we speak, would be in the playoffs if the season ended today. I think they were a point up on Toronto, a couple points up on the Islanders if they went down to the wild card spot. I think Toronto probably catches them and they become a wild card team, but I don't think they're going to choke. I think something about this team. Now, if it goes into the last game, are they going to maybe freak out? And is Tuca going to have the runs or a bad stomach and not play against Ottawa again? Hopefully not. But I think something about this Cassidy-led team, they've kind of turned a corner. They have a new identity. So I think there's kind of a new feeling to it all. So I think they're going to get back into the playoffs. But it's certainly not looking good with a 3-game losing streak, with 9 games to go or whatever it is.
On March 15th, 2015, they began a streak where they went 0-3-3. On March 15th, 2016, they began a streak where they went 0-5-0. March 16th, 2017, they're 0-3 and counting. So,
Do you have a research department?
no, I just saw that on Twitter. So, no, I don't. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to choke. In fact, I don't buy any of it. I don't buy any of the negativity with the Bruins. I think that the Bruins, not only will they not choke, but they will be in contention and they can win a series. Now, the Metropolitan Division, different animal. Capitals, Rangers, don't love those matchups. But you give me Ottawa, I know it's not a great matchup. I know it's boring. But they could. I think they could do some things against Ottawa. Even Montreal, I think they could find a way to make it a series. I'm not saying they win, but I think they'll find a way to be productive in those series. I'm not going to just say, well, they could get in. And if you face Ottawa and you face Montreal, forget it.
Right.
So, no, I don't think they choke. I think they get in. I do it. You know about my concerns with Tuukka Rask. Well-documented concerns with Tuukka. I don't buy him necessarily. But I don't think they're going to choke this one away. I think they're going to get in. And then we'll see what happens in the playoffs and if they can win a series.
All right. College hoops.
Just me?
Yeah.
Okay. Providence, URI, nice runs in the tournament. A little bit of disappointment considering the fact that both teams lost with double-digit leads in the second half of their tournament games. But overall positive. What do we expect now out of these college basketball teams in the state of Rhode Island after what we witnessed this spring?
Well, PC went for a 4th straight year, and they went in a year in which they were rebuilding or supposed to be rebuilding. So it shows you that Ed Cooley essentially can get his team to the dance every year. They're going to be better next year. I expect them to get back. For URI, enormous getting to the dance, enormous winning a game for the first time since 90s. Now can they build off this momentum? Can they keep the recruits coming? Can they go back next year? Will the university and athletic department supply them with enough resources? Can Hurley's assistants get a pay bump? Can they get more charters? Can they get all the infrastructure things that the top programs need and have? If they get all that, then I think they can sustain this. The other question, does Hurley stay here? The coaching carousel, once you have some success, people start plucking. He's a guy who hasn't moved a whole lot in his life. Stayed in New Jersey for most of his life, coached high school, eventually went to Wagner and then URI, but we've seen him turn down St. John's, so I don't know who the right program would be, but it's good right now. Both teams are in a good spot. I think VCU just got rid of their coach. They have a new one, so I think URI can contend with Dayton for the A-10 championship next year. PC is going to be better. So this could be a yearly thing where one, if not two, teams are in the dance every year, which is great. And I think URI being good, if you ask PC, they like it too. Like, maybe URI is buying some of the billboards on 95 at PC. Like, let's ratchet this up a little. They're not traditional rivals in that they're in the same conference, but within the state, they're vying for the same dollars, right?
We could go a bunch of different places on this topic. Based on the media market that we're in here, and I don't mean just Providence, I mean New England, winners are expected essentially by default almost. So I would expect both of these teams to make the tournament next year. Anything short is a disappointment. And those are the expectations that these coaches are going to have to get used to. Ed Cooley obviously getting more used to them. Dan Hurley, we'll see. But with who is coming back, with the way they played this year, Providence and URI both should be in the tournament next year. And if you get in 2 years in a row, what would it be, 5 for PC?
Yeah.
I'm expecting you every year to get the recruits, to get into the tournament, to have the talent, to become a program that is a perennial tournament team. That's what I'm expecting. Now, you want to talk about URI specifically because they're a little bit newer to this. I agree with what you said. Listen. Let's make it a basketball school because it is.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear
is.
about football. Like, you don't even talk to me about URI football right now. No offense. This is a basketball school. They have made some hay. They're in the tournament. You sink money you have into football, into basketball, and let football prove that they're worth any money. Okay? That's what I would do. Make it a basketball school. Keep Dan Hurley happy. Don't let him go to wherever. I don't know where. One of those schools where you don't let him Lars Tiffany out of URI, and you keep him happy.
Keep him
Get
happy.
the recruits. I mean, Thor Bjorn talked about it in the airport.
Yeah.
Having the support of the upper levels of the school, the president, and that's how you keep coaches happy. That's how you build a winning culture that gets to the tournament every year. And that's what they need to do if they want to stay in the tournament.
And on the flight back, we get to TF Green, and Hurley spoke to the whole plane and said, plan to be on this plane next year. Let's make this a yearly thing. So that's the hope, that's the expectation. I actually got to head down to URI in like 2 minutes here for the celebration.
We'll wrap this up quick.
We switched
Last
on that
one, yeah, that's all right.
so-
I'll say it. World Baseball Classic. Team USA, they get the win over not only Puerto Rico in the gold medal game, they beat Team Japan, who was undefeated in the tournament before that. Puerto Rico undefeated going into the gold medal game. They beat the Dominicans on the way. I believe they beat Venezuela once. So this was an impressive outing by Team USA. The question is, should the win by Team USA in this tournament be a bigger deal? Should people care?
Guess how many pitches I saw in the WBC? 0.
That is just
I mean, you
despicable.
were tweeting a storm about
So here's what
it.
I.
What channel was it on?
Here's
MLB
here's
Network?
What I assume. Here's what I assume. I assume that you really don't care for baseball that much overall. Because here's
The
what I don't
WBC
get. I don't
does
understand.
not interest me.
I do not understand. I have no idea how you can appreciate the game of baseball and not have some kind of not want to watch this tournament. I don't understand.
Here's my feeling. If I knew what channel it was on and it wasn't at 10 o'clock at night when I'm producing the sports wrap or like at the NCAA tournament and it was on, I'd probably get into it. But what was it on, MLB Network?
MLB Network.
What kind of history does this thing have? How many years has it been going?
So we just disregard anything that doesn't have history.
The Olympics have history. Like USA Canada on the Olympics, I'm all about that. Or USA basketball in the Olympics when they're not blowing a team out by 50. I didn't get into the WBC this year. I think maybe if I watched, I probably would have liked it. You and Perry Russell were tweeting up a storm about it.
Okay, so let's do
I
this.
guess it should be a bigger deal because I can't imagine what the rating
Okay,
I
so
didn't
let's
see
do
much
this.
buzz in
Let's
the
just-
general sports.
Why
world.
don't we just cancel every lacrosse season? Because who cares? There's not a lot of history in lacrosse. I don't care. Go back. Tell me the lacrosse
It's
history.
hurting MLB rosters. These guys could get hurt. If Xander Bogaerts got hurt for the Netherlands, you'd be like, that stupid tournament just cost my shortstop his season.
Okay, that's a different conversation. Of course, if I'm the Red Sox, I hate the tournament. But if I'm a baseball fan, I love the tournament, and I will run the risk of guys getting hurt because I want to see it. Now,
Is it in the U.S. every year?
first of all, it's every 4 years, and when they do play it, it's predominantly
So it's in
the
San
US.
Diego.
Yeah, it's in the southern
I
cities.
literally
Miami.
watched 0 pitches on
Okay.
this.
Well, you missed out.
loved it.
I loved it. I loved the event. I just like baseball, and to watch the matchups of the different teams, the Asians and their style of baseball playing the Latin American teams and the Cuban style of I mean, it's different, but they're all very good. And it's outside of hockey, it probably has the most parity of any international team sport. And
Yeah.
don't talk to me about swimming or any of that. I'm talking about the actual team sports. Because football and basketball, there is no international football, and basketball's a joke. Okay, it's a joke. This is good baseball.
If it's
The highest
competitive,
level
if
of.
it can get to the hockey level of competition between countries.
You're right. There's no history, but it is the highest level of international competition in the game of baseball, which is a global game. It's a great watch. If
Maybe
you like
I missed
baseball.
out. Maybe I missed out.
If it's the same type of people that, like, I have an uncle. He's actually not my uncle, but he's a guy that my cousin's uncle, whatever. But he has a house on
Sounds
Cape
shady.
Cod. He has a house on Cape Cod, okay? And I forget if I asked him, but I said, do you go to any Cape League games? He goes, no, but I go to a bunch of Red Sox games. That's because he's a Red Sox fan. He's not a baseball fan. If you're a Red Sox fan, you love going to the game. My wife likes going to the Red Sox games.
Pig hats.
Yay, let's go to the Red Sox game because she likes the Red Sox. She doesn't like baseball. This tournament is for baseball fans. Baseball.
That's probably true.
Right. So you can go put your
Maybe
pig
I'm
hat
not a
on.
baseball fan because I'll watch the Red Sox. I don't care.
You like
about
the Red Sox.
I don't care about the Royals and Astros
You like the Red
in the
Sox.
middle of the season.
Exactly
But
right.
I'll watch postseason baseball.
Okay. So you just like the Red Sox.
I'll go watch the Chatham A's. Defending your sport. First off, I consider you a football fan much more than a baseball fan.
I am, but I still enjoy baseball, and I'm not poo-pooing you. If you don't want to watch this tournament, fine.
Right.
I'm just saying I don't know how you can like baseball and not like this tournament. That's all I'm saying. That's my point.
And from a viewing perspective, if this was on ESPN, I probably would have watched it.
Okay,
I didn't
maybe
even
that
know where to find it.
Maybe that's part of it.
All
But
right,
John Smoltz is excellent.
Oh, I love Smoltz.
And it's just baseball. Like, if you don't like baseball, then I get it. This is stupid. But if you like
Also,
baseball,
there
I
was
don't know
kind
how
of
you
a lull
can't get
in
into
the
this.
week. The tournament's tonight. I probably could have watched it. All right, before we go, what is your projection, boy or girl, for kid number 2?
Boy, I mean, we have a girl, so doesn't that? I mean, maybe that
Means nothing.
means nothing. I don't know. I don't know. I have no
I
idea.
said girl in an email the other
Girl.
day. I'm kind of torn.
Okay.
I tend to think, for some reason, a lot of TV sports guys have girls.
Good. Okay.
I
would
know
love
like
another girl.
several sports guys who have girls.
Little girls.
And I have one of 2.
Yep.
What's your
Could be a
name
girl.
situation? You have a boy and a girl name right now.
We have some names.
Some names?
Yeah.
Well, when the baby comes out, what are you going to...
when
they
Ma-
ask, what's the name?
Well, when Maeve was born, she was named something else, and then we changed.
Really?
Yeah, after
When
she
did you
was born.
change?
Like a few minutes
This seems
after.
like big news.
No, it was just a few minutes after we were thinking. It was just, yeah.
You looked at her and you're like, she's a Maeve.
Is that really that uncommon?
Is the number 2, is the backup name to Maeve now the front runner for baby 2?
No, we haven't even considered
that name
that.
is completely gone.
Yeah, we didn't really consider that name.
Is this so definitively? There's no front runner girl or boy name right now.
We do have a front-running boy name, where if it's a boy, we'll probably go with this name. Girl is a lot less certain. 'cause
People
we
like
already used
yourselves
up one of
who
the girls'
haven't
names.
used or are waiting and don't know the sex. That's usually the case. I feel like they have the one boy or girl name secure, and the other one it's like a crapshoot.
Well, we already used the girl name, so there's, the boy name. We had more time to think about that, and we didn't have,
Hopefully, you give me the right pronunciation.
Yeah,
so
I'll
say,
try to phonetically spell it out
Maeve
correctly.
Dondero.
I call her Maeve sometimes.
And now that you have a Maeve, I've heard the name like in passing from a few people. Maeve, similar to Paige, they're not too popular. They're not too common.
No, not too common.
Unique enough, but
Yeah.
not like crazy weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid. All right. Well, as of now, there's still only one kid. Phone hasn't rung. So
Keep it
if
monitored.
there's no episode next week, it's because Dondero's on paternity leave. And thanks to everyone downloading on iTunes now.
That's right.
Yeah. Audio and visual,
Yep.
baby. All right, that'll do it for the latest
Dreams come
episode
true.
of Double OT. Come here, Tone.
It's for you.
Oh, God. Thank you.
Tony
Don't give me
Petrarca,
that. Don't do
everyone.
that to me.
30 years in the business. All right, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.